After 300 hours topside, I thought it was my time to share the knowledge for either beginners to the game, someone just checking out the game, or people that are still struggling with what they should do with what. With that said, no hanging about, let's get straight into the video. Straight into your settings. Now I don't want to overcomplicate things. Most of the settings in here you don't need. So we're going to go straight onto the ones that you do need. Let's go into your graphics. First things first, you want to turn off your VSync, make sure VSync's turned off. Frame rate, set it to what your monitor is capable of. So mine's a 240 Hz, so I set it at 240. Anti-aliasing, you want to turn that off. Motion blur, turn off. Sorry, skip one. Field of view, have that on max. Global illumination. Now this, I don't know if you've seen recently. There's been people on Twitter, people on Reddit, and all over the place really, stating that they're getting crashes with the game. It has been due to this setting as well. It's helped me. It does start on dynamic. Okay, so once you first install the game, it will be preset to dynamic. Turn it down to static. It has solved a lot of people, a lot of problems with the crashes, and it has helped a lot of people. So try that out, and hopefully that works for you guys. Next one's obviously all about your FPS settings. I don't think anti-aliasing down here. I've just left that on high because the rest of my settings are high, but we have it turned off up top. So I've set this to high because obviously standard it goes on Epic, but I do streaming, YouTube, and that's why I've set mine to high because that's what it can cope with and give me fantastic FPS. Play around, see what your settings are, take note of what obviously your GPU and your CPU and what it can run, what it's capable of, and set it, adjust it to that. In-game performance is exactly what it says on the tin. So if you want to show that your FPS and what you're currently running at, it will come in the top right hand corner of your gameplay. You can see, just put it on simple and it will show your FPS. If you can do the detailed version as well, it will give you your stats on your GPU, your CPU. Also will be in the top right hand corner. It doesn't affect much of the game, doesn't affect much of your screen. It's very small, but it will just show you up top. You don't need nothing else. Audio, self-explanatory. Just set it to your mic. I have master volume turned down for the sake of this video. Normally I have it a little bit further up, but I don't know if you guys agree, but this game is a very, very loud game. But I have mine turned down for the purpose of the video. Accessibility. This one's quite important. I've been questioned about this a lot. So we'll go through this one quite quickly. This is purely for your cursor. Okay, so if you come down to the override crosshair shape and turn that on, then you'll be able to change the crosshair shape, which is circle, T-cross, rounded diamond, angled radial lines, and so forth. You can pick the one you want. I use circle, and I turn the center dot off. You can change the color if you want. I pick green because that's what I like. Shows up really nicely on all the maps, so it suits it really, really well. If you're running a white outline, obviously it's going to seep into like mountains and snow and things like that. If you're doing trials on cold snap, you're not going to be able to see it. So I suggest having like a a nice thick color, something that you're going to be able to see. Maybe red, like a vibrant red, green, which I've got, which is like a neon green, so it really does stand out. But you can play around with it in here, see what you like, and that's how you sort that one out. The rest of the ones you don't need to know. Let's jump straight into the first tab, workshop. Why is this so important? So the workshop, I'm treating you guys as if some of you are new, some of you may be intermediate, you may pick up some on the way, you don't know. So if you guys are new here, workbenches are probably the most important thing on the game that you want to get built first. So when you come onto the game, these will all be empty. No, you won't have any workbenches here, and then it will tell you that you have to find up top side on different maps, you have to find certain things to craft these benches to be able to make stuff in those benches. For instance, the first one on the workbench, which you will have and you cannot upgrade anyway, you can make your first Altman kit, which is basically a looting kit, which I'll go more into later in the video. Your shields, a few guns, a few of the guns that you spawn in with, and some ammo, and a couple of explosives, and shield and bandages. That's just the first one that everybody gets. Now the gunsmith is where you can start to upgrade. As you see up the top, it says level up. It's not going to show me, for instance, what I need because it's already upgraded to max. But on gunsmith, In this particular one, the weapons that you see here are with the blueprints I've found. So you have to find them up topside, which I'll go into again a little bit later. You have to find them topside. You have to learn those blueprints. Then they'll become inside your workshop, which inside your gunsmith, and you'll be able to craft them using said material. So metal parts and plastic parts. You can create a hairpin, for example, for a Venator, which is the most used gun on the game at the moment. You're going to need advanced mechanical components, medium gun parts, and magnets. I know it looks very complicated, but honestly, once you get into it, it really isn't. So moving on to the next one, which is your gear bench. It's going to give you a bunch of different augment kits, which we will talk about again a little bit later on in the video. I'll go through some of these with you and what is the meta, so to speak, right now, and what you can make and what it costs to make them. Refiner. This one's actually a really good workbench for the reason that when you come into the refiner, you can craft certain things in this part that you need. For instance, I've got this one on tracks. You can track resources for the ones that you need. So medium gun parts. Now I use this to go into gunsmith to build, like I showed you earlier, the Venator, because it is, as I said, the most used gun in the game. So I track the items. So if you press track resources down here, what that does is, if you go back to refiner here, when you're up topside and you find these items, it will have that little eye indicator in the item up topside as well. So once you're looting it, you'll know that you need that item, or you've tracked that item for a reason. Moving on to the explosive station, it's the same thing with all of them. They're just set out in different, for different reasons, for different names. Explosives, clearly for explosives. The first aid sign is obviously for your bandages. You've got defibrillator, so you can get your friends up, shields, bigger bandages, herbal bandages, and so forth. Utility station, again, once you get used to the items and find the blueprints that you need, you'll be able to craft these, and some of these we'll talk about in a little bit, you can craft in game. Barricade kit, zip lines, raider keys, so you don't have to use the extraction. You can use a raider key hatch, where you can obviously just get out of without trying to encounter PvP at said extraction site. Let's jump into the next tab, which is traders. So on here we have 5 different traders. Trados? We got 5 different traders. We've got Celeste, Shani, Tia Wen, Lance, and Apollo. Now, in my opinion, this is not something you should go by, but in my opinion, with a lot of hours on the game and a very experienced player at the game now, I would only use Celeste and Shani. I would only use these 2. These 3, you are going to get ripped off with prices of the guns. It's just a gun shop, but the prices that they charge for how you can find them and make them, the comparison is, you'll see once you start playing it. But I would stay away from these 3 because they cost a hell of a lot of money. You're going to waste a lot of money buying stuff from these. Grenades cost a lot of money. I would stay away. The first one, the reason I said use Celeste, because this doesn't even cost money. It costs seeds. Okay, and as we said in the previous part of this video, Scrappy will generate you seeds anyway. So once you've done raids, and you've done 10 raids, 8 raids, whatever, you will have quite a few seeds anyway to come and purchase something from here. So you buy everything in here with seeds. I'll again, advice for any new players, I would stay away from the top ones here. Reason being, Scrappy gets you all of these. He comes out with them after every raid, so I wouldn't bother wasting any seeds on these. The most important, I'd say, are more towards the bottom. You can see I've purchased some already. I'm obviously going to get more seeds throughout the rest of the playtime to get some more things. My recommendation, again, not something you have to go by, but my recommendation is Steel Springs, 100%. You can see everything on there that it does craft if you just hover over it, which, if you just read it, extended shotgun mag, extended medium mag, extended light mag, Serenity extended medium mag 2. So there's a lot of things, and they're quite important, and they're used for a lot of different stuff. So I definitely recommend buying all the springs. Simple gun parts, I buy all of them. I'd get all of the processors, obviously for different variety of augment kits. which, as I said, we'll go through in a little while. I normally buy the batteries because they make a lot of jolt mines, which are very, very handy to use throughout the game. And I think, oh, and medium gun parts, because again, going back to looking at, what it crafts, the Venator, it's definitely worth getting because I know you can craft a lot more Venators. Now, they are capped out. So, for instance, the simple gun parts is only 5 a day. The steel springs only 10. Processors 5, because you get the seeds for free. That's why it's quite a good little thing. It doesn't cost you anything. You're not spending no money. Whereas if you use the other traders, you're going to. Now, going down on this left-hand side, it's just the same as this screen, but just a little bit quicker. Going down to Shani. Again, the reason I say these two traders is because this also costs you no money. The blue tokens at the top, you can see that 256 out of 800. You can spend them in here. You accumulate them every day by doing certain quests, and if you see on the front screen very quick, it returns safely from Buried City, you'll get 10. Damage dealt to Arc Surveyors, you'll get 10, and yada yada yada. You get my point. You can go through that and see it for yourself. So you accumulate them over different raids, and then you can come in here and buy anything that you'd use. I kind of always get raider keys because they are really, really handy to have. Not fighting at an extraction and getting out of a raider hatch key is so much better, and it's really, really good for stress. It's definitely something that needs to be done. I tend to bind the silencer, the muzzles, and the angle grip, which while I'm on here right now, I may as well just do. I've only got, so I'll just buy them for now. I'll accumulate more and I'll probably get the rest. But that's what I recommend trader-wise that you should do. Celeste and Shani. By all means, check out the other ones. Sometimes you might struggle with, you haven't got enough parts, you haven't got enough seeds. You can just come into, tier 1, buy a gun. You've got a Pharaoh here, Max Pharaoh down there. But you can have a look through, see what you'd like to buy. You've got some attachments as well. And maybe a one-off time or now and again you could purchase said weapon. Lance is just the clinic basically, augment and heals. And then Apollo is exactly what he says, grenades and gadgets. So, like I said earlier, jolt mines, barricades, things like that. Sometimes you might want to... Occasionally I come in and buy the secret grenades, because they're quite handy, kind of like a mini wolf pack. So they're quite handy to have. Right, so after that, next up, this has been absolutely fantastic for Arc Raiders to add this for zero money. $0, £0, nada. So, decks. So, think of it kind of like a battle pass, but it's completely free at the moment. I mean, that things could change. They could eventually bring out a paid battle pass. We don't know what they're going to do. But as you can see, I've got 2 here because I did last season and obviously this one. We've got cosmetics that they give you. They got little supply boxes which you can see everything inside. Some of them you're just going to sell, they're useless, but some of them you're going to keep, like noisemaker, remote flares. But you'll go through this, and once you learn the game you'll know exactly what they are. But as you go down the deck, they get better outfits, better cosmetics, better everything, and then you get some gold at the end which you can use in the store to buy whatever cosmetics you like, or upgrade for Scrappy or something like that. If we have a quick look at the store, there's plenty of things in there you can pick from. They update it pretty often. Some of them are really, really, really good gear. It just depends on which one you want to run. Currently, I don't know if my one's still in the store, but yes it is. I'm running the torpedo set. I think it looks fantastic. It's a great cosmetic and I really, really like it. I also own this one as well, which I used at the start, but I'm now using the torpedo set. But each their own. It depends on which one you want. Let's move into the next section, which is Raider. Now, skill tree is something we're going to go into in a minute, but on these 4 tabs here, I would advise that you go into them, have a play about, have a look. Customization is exactly what it is. It's like cosmetics. You can change, your outfit that you've bought, your backpack, your all. What's this one? Backpack attachments, backpack charms, and your Raider tool. Depending on what you buy, what you start with, you can change it all in there. So I'll let you guys have a play around with that. Trials, we're going to talk about in a little while. Projects, we'll also talk about in a little while. That's part of the expedition with Prestige, and if you want to do it or not, but we'll go into that in a little while. Codex, that is something that you're going to need to, have a play around with yourself. You've got all the history, people. It tells you about everything on the game and in the game, quests, videos, etc., etc. And then you got player stats, which is your own player stats. Moving on from that, any key cards that you find, I would recommend that you keep, just purely because you might want to go in with your friends or somewhere you met on the game to go in and loot these certain spots with a key card. You might want to do it solo, but keep the key cards that you do find topside, because then you can run in to any of those maps that you've got and loot them whenever you need. Things you keep and things you don't. Advanced electrical components, for me, is a must. I have to keep these because I like running I'll show you now, it's on the gear bench, it's this tactical M3 defensive. I like running this particular augment, reason being, one of the perks of this augment is it allows us shield recharges to be used while running. Not only that, it comes with a medium shield charger inside the kit already. You can't take it out or sell it or anything like that. It's part of the kit. So you can use that, and it's got a cooldown on it for 120 seconds, which is really, really good, because you can use a medium shield and then a light shield straight after, and you fill again. And then you've got 120 second cooldown. Hopefully by that time you finished whatever you was doing and you can use it again. So I like running that. That's why I collect a lot of the advanced mechanical. But again, you can hover over it and see what it does. If that's something you're not using, then obviously just don't pick them up. Again, the stash is going to be your own, but I keep them. Arc circuitry, I purely keep these for medium shields. If you're going out for a PvP, which a lot of people do, medium shields are what you're going to need. That's what people run. So you're going to need arc circuitry for that. Explosive compound, again, if you just hover over it, it tells you exactly what it does. Me personally, I keep these for the explosive mines and the wolf packs. So if you're going to do trials, which we'll talk about in a bit, the wolf packs are very, very, very good for those particular reasons. I'll show you later anyway. Light gun parts, I keep these for upgrades. Light gun parts, you need a lot of these to make upgrades with certain guns. Mod components, again, it tells you exactly what's on there. You've got lightweight stock, you've got shotgun choke, extended shotgun mag, padded stock, and compensator. I use this for the compensator free. Again, each to their own. Some people might be like, why are you keeping that? Why do you do that? You shouldn't be doing things, blah, blah, blah. It's your choice. Processors, again, for the augment kit, you need processors to make it as well. Sensors are explosive mines, radar hatch keys, which I spoke about earlier. Arc alloys, everybody keeps these. As far as I'm aware, everybody keeps them, because if you run just a basic loadout with just a green shield, which is the first one you can get, you're going to want the arc alloys for light shields and things like that. Rubber tape, again, I use these for a couple of grips that I buy. Durable cloth, I use them for herbal bandages. So yeah, so my version, in a nutshell, just to summarise, I keep advanced electrical, arc circuitry, explosive compound, light gun parts, medium gun parts to make the Venator and upgrade, sensors for radar hatch keys, components for the smaller guns like the anvils and things like that, if you want to run a green loadout, and then these materials are what you get from Scrappy, so you can sell a bunch of these. You don't need to keep so many. I see a lot of people keep 400 or 500. You really don't need to. Mine are down to like a minimal. And if you click this, they'll all link up together. So you can see I've only got, 6 stashes of them, 7 of them. Yeah, so I don't keep a lot of them. You really don't need to, because Scrappy will refresh it every single time. Magnets, again, you use to craft the Venator. So yeah, again, like we spoke about earlier, you can go onto these and you can track the resources. So as you see the eye in the corner, I know that I want them all the time to make snap blast grenades and Venators. So you can just mark exactly what you want to use them for and make your stash your own. It really is that simple. On the back of that, one thing I will say is don't sell everything in your stash. If you're not keeping it, look at the recycling option, because when my Venators are broke, I recycle them, because it will then give me the parts to remake it. It will take off the attachments, and then it will give me the parts that I need to remake it. So don't look at selling it straight away. Think, oh, that's broke, I've got to sell it. Recycle it instead. Okay. Same with if you've got a blue medium shield, recycle it, because if you've got that, it will turn in to an arc circuitry, which will allow you to make another one, because you need arc circuitry to make the medium shield. So, for instance, color-wise, it's like from grey to green to blue to purple to gold. And then recycling wise is back down the other way. Gold to purple, recycle, recycle purple into blue, blue into green, and green into grey. That's how it works. It's that simple. Another commonly asked question. What do we keep? What do we sell? So again, there's not do's and don'ts. There's certain things that people might want to keep to make different guns over different people, or there's certain things if you want to go with a meta, then I can tell you which ones you need to keep, what ones you don't. So in my stash, it currently looks quite empty because again, at the second time round, I'm doing the expedition again, which I said we'll talk about in a bit. I'm stage 5 out of 6, but I'll talk about that in a little while. So that's why my stash is a little bit on the bleak side, so to speak. We do have extra capacity because if you missed the last season, which is the first one, you did get extra bonus points and extra skill points for doing the expedition. With that being said, as you can see, which we mentioned earlier, the Venator is the meta at the moment. It is the most best gun on the game. It did get nerfed, but it still turns out to be the best gun. It is the best gun on now. I normally run angle grip 3 because it's the max, and extended medium mag 3 because it gives you the maximum bullets on that. But again, like we spoke about before, you need to find a blueprint first to be able to make these guns. But the Venator is definitely one of the most best on there. So I would 100% recommend keeping parts for that. So, with regards of what to keep and what not to keep, I like to keep a few attachments just in case I run like an anvil or a Venator or things like that. So I like to keep a few attachments just so I can put on the end of the gun. You know, if you hover over them as well, they can tell you what they're compatible with. Like for this one, for instance, is the Tempest, Arpeggio, Bettina, Rattler, and Kettle. So I would keep this in particular for the Rattler, because what I would do is a very, very cheap loadout. It's a very, very cheap gun. It's a grey gun. It's one of the ones you get on a free loadout. So I keep this one to put onto the Rattler when I upgrade it to level 4, which is max. It works out a lot better that way. I would definitely recommend putting attachments on to the guns. You can see all the different specs that it does. If you go back to the trader, go to the gun shop, again you haven't got a buy-in, but if you just click, it will tell you exactly what they do. Silencer 1, 20% reduced noise. This compensator 1, 20% per dispersion, per shot dispersion, 10% reduced max shot dispersion. There's a lot of different things that you can read up on and it tells you what guns they go with. So yeah, it's definitely recommended to keep a few attachments. I'm not saying fill your stash up with them, but keep a few attachments for the guns that you either loot or buy or make. We're now going to talk about something else they've added to the game, which is absolutely fantastic. This is purely for when people panic about money. Okay, when you're not sitting on a whole bunch, which I'm not right now, I'm sitting on 241, which is not a lot when you run into loadouts that I run, which, as I said, you'll understand when you're playing it. So one of the really cool things that they did add, which is great, is a free loadout. So you can go into select any map that you want to play. For instance, we select Spaceport, press confirm. We can select at the top here, free loadout. Now what that does is we will spawn in. It won't give you an augment kit. It doesn't. Well, it will, but it's a free augment loadout. So you don't have a safe pocket, so you can't bring loot back with you unless you get out. You have to get out. If you die with everything. You lose it all. But what it is good for is it will give you a gun, a randomized gun, either a Rattler, a Stitcher, a Pharaoh. Pretty sure that's it. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that's it. I don't use it a whole bunch. I normally take loadouts in pretty much 90% of the time, but I'm pretty sure that's all it does. And it gives you a green shield in here, so you haven't got to get that neither. It will give you 2 bandages, and these are random. The other 3 are random. You always get 2 bandages, but you can either get like a zip line, jolt mine, 3 grenades, It doesn't give you a whole bunch because it is, at the end of the day, it is a free loadout, but it gives you enough to get through if you want to do a little bit of PvP, if you just want to go into loot something real quick and you've got a weapon to defend yourself and get out. It is a really cool feature to the game. Please bear in mind though, like I said, when you are running these free augment kits and you do find a blueprint that is rare or a blueprint that you haven't got, you do not have a safe pocket. If you die, you will not keep that. That's why I don't really run free augment kits, because you can't keep nothing that you get. So once you get used to the game a little bit, definitely use this to get used to the game. Once you get used to it, make sure you are running an augment kit with a safe pocket. Now, upgrading guns is very, very simple. They have made this game very user friendly, and they do give you a lot of tips and hints, like with when you hold over something, it says right mouse click for actions, tells you what the gun is if you just leave it over there, and then you've got another bunch of options when you right mouse click. So upgrading guns is very, very simple. It tells you exactly what you need. So every gun starts at level 1 unless you find one that's already level 3, level 4 or whatever. 4 is the max level. So if, for instance, this is level 3, if we right mouse click and press upgrade, if you look down the bottom right here, which I will now move my camera so it's not in the way, if you look down the bottom right here, it will show you required resources, exactly what you need. So we need 2 advanced mechanical components, and we need 2 medium gun parts. The first number is how many you've got, the second is what you need. On top of that, it tells you exactly what it does. Now, going from a 3 to a 4 is very, very much worth it for these reasons. 40% increased fire rate, so it goes from 26 all the way up to 40. That is a huge jump for the Venator. 50% reduced reload time, 33 to 50. That is huge. That is 50. So you've got it up to 50, you've got half the time, literally. Plus 10 durability. Now, before we upgrade this, I'll quickly show you what durability is. So if you look on the gun, you can see under the durability bit just there, which I'll mark, is 120 out of 120. Which means this gun is in fully working order, it's not been used topside, and as you do use it topside, the durability of the gun will go down. Once it starts getting to probably around sort of 45, you either want to look to repair it or not take it in because it won't last for the game. So keep a check on your durability of the gun. And obviously once you upgrade them and you get more durability, that is absolutely credible. That's exactly what you want. So for the purposes of the video, I'm going to upgrade this gun. You just press and hold E or click over it like that. Get this little animation. That gun's now upgraded. So now if we go back to the stash, you can now see that both of them are max. This one's not got attachments, this one has. That's how simple it is to upgrade. It's not complicated, it tells you everything that you need, it tells you what the upgrade is going to do, and it gives you the figures that everything that you need. It is very, as I said, very, very user friendly, so the game looks a lot more complicated than what it is. So earlier on in the video, we did mention something called blueprints. Now, some of you might be wondering what that is. So all you need to do is head over to the workshop. If you're on keyboard, just press R to go to blueprints, or failing that, go down to the bottom and just click blueprints. So these are what you can find, as we call it, topside on any of the maps. They're better on night raids or electromagnetic storm, which obviously I'll show you in a little while. But each different map has different blueprints, and there's not a certain way to find certain blueprints, although a lot of people say there is, but there really isn't. There's not a certain way to find them. It is just a sheer RNG. It's so luck. It just is what it is. This is my second time around. Currently I'm sitting at 52 out of 75, so not many more to get, but I have got some of the most rare ones, as in like Bobcat that everybody goes after. I've got quite a few of the rare ones on there, but we're still looking for a hell of a lot more. So blueprints are something that once you accumulate and loot up topside, you bring it back to your stash, and once it's there, you learn it, consume it, and then it goes into the workstation which we showed you earlier where the guns are, and then you'll be able to craft these items once you've found the blueprint. But until then, you won't be able to. You'll have to run maybe a free loadout or loot it from another player if you're doing PvP, etc, etc. After you're done playing around with these menus down here and all the different things you can see, read, learn, check stats and whatnot, let's jump straight into the skill tree. Now this is by far the most talked about skill tree, the most talked about thing all over Arc Raiders. What should we do? What point should we put it in? Now, what do I mean by points? So for every level that you get in Arc Raiders, once you level up, as you can see, I'm max level already. As you level up to 75, for every point you get a skill point to put in your trees. So you can either go with conditioning, mobility, or survival. Now, everyone's going to ask the questions: what is the best way to go? What point should I use? Why should I do this one? Why should I do that one? At the end of the day, it is going to come down to your play style. It is going to come down to what you think would work for you topside. Now, this is my second time doing it, because obviously I prestiged already. I've done the expedition from the last one. This is the second time. I probably will do the expo again and prestige again. So the second time round I did it differently to the first time. I put a lot more in conditioning. I put more in mobility, and I put less in survival. I went kind of all out on this one. I maxed out the red last time. I didn't want to do that again. I put in everything I need to support the way I play. Mobility is incredibly important. Probably the most important part. I put max in nimble climb because you can climb and vault more quickly. Obviously, once you start playing the game, if you're running away from someone, or you're trying to get out quickly, you do need to be able to climb and vault more quickly. It's kind of the clues in a title. So I maxed this out to 5 out of 5. Moving around costs less stamina. Tongue twister there. Now, obviously, I maxed that out to 5 out of 5 because having more stamina is obviously going to make you get out better as well, because it's going to rejuvenate quicker, isn't it? Increase your max stamina. It's a no-brainer. So first 3 there, obviously I would max out. Again, like I said right at the beginning, it is completely up to you. Hover over these, literally hover over these, it will tell you exactly what they do. But this is my skill tree. If you want to take a screenshot, copy it, by all means do. If you want to learn it yourself, you can't mess it up, because at the end of the day, if you don't like what you've done and you don't think it suits your play, down here you can reset your skill tree. It does cost 156k, which is not really a lot considering you can make that in one good loot run. So yeah, you can reset it and do it all again. It's entirely up to you how you want to do your skill tree. If you've got any more points and you want a more in-depth video around the skill tree, by all means, I'm more than happy to do that. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think I should do that, and I'll help you guys out. Now we're going to talk about one of the most fun parts and one of the best features that they put into the game, in my opinion. Okay, so what we're going to do is head over to Trials. Now this is fantastic. If you are a competitive player, you come from another competitive game, this is where you need to be. So these trials reset every week. Every week you get a new set of trials, new challenges to 3-star and get rewarded. So for instance, deliver carryables. Now once you learn the game, like I said, these are just like batteries you put into a field depot. You get points for every one that you put in, and you've got to deliver as many as you can to get the best points on that category. You've then got to get out to make sure that counts. You get a uncommon reward, you get a rare reward, and you get an epic reward, and you get that for each category. Okay, my numbers right now are not particularly high. We haven't started doing this yet. We're just getting the 3 stars to see what we get for the rewards, because you can get blueprints, you can get good guns and things like that. Damaged Rocketeers, it's not fantastic. I mean, we can get like 25k, 28k on that probably, but once you start playing it, they are really, really, really good to compete in, because sometimes you can get into the leaderboards with your friends in the same leaderboard. You can get promoted into different divisions, which are the ranks, which I'll talk about now actually. So you start off as a rookie 1, so comparing it to, say, I don't know, Call of Duty, you start off as bronze if you're playing ranked, and then silver, gold, platinum, diamond, however it works, but you get the picture. So rookie 1 to 3, and then after that you've got triad 1 to 3, you've got wild card 1 to 3. I'm currently sitting in 2 because I didn't play the last trials and got demoted. That's another thing, they do demote you and promote you as you are playing. You've got to be active on it within those 7 days. It goes all the way up to Daredevil 1, 2, 3, Hotshot, and then Cantina Legend, which is the top 1,000. Now, you do get rewards for these. They're all literally listed below them. You get cosmetics, you get attachments, you get things to put on your backpack. I think it's a really, really cool thing that they've added to the game, especially for competitive players. I love it. I love doing trials. I think they're fantastic. I enjoy competing against other people. With the leaderboards, this is how it works now. I mean, last time it was completely different. There wasn't 3 times promotion. There was only 2x and then 1. But this time what they've done is in the top 5 you get a 3x promotion. So for someone like myself, I'm Wildcat 2. So we would go from here to 1 to Daredevil 2 if we got a 3x promotion, staying in the top 5. If we stayed in the top 16, okay, top 16, then I would get a 2x promotion, which would put me in Daredevil 1. If we stayed in the top 40, you would get 1 promotion. Is that 1 promotion? Let's double check. Yeah, you get 1 promotion. 40 and below, you don't. For instance, if you finished 41 to 75, you will stay in exactly the division that you're in. So if you're in Wildcard 2, you stay in Wildcard 2. Under that, you get demotion all the way down to 99. Okay, and you get a different set. It's not the same set of 100 players. It's a different set of 100 players every week. Really good thing. Really cool. I'm glad they added it. I love it. The people that I play with love it. And yeah, it's really fun to do. So definitely take a look at that, take part in it, and enjoy it. Okay, so we're going to go back to the expedition as we spoke about earlier. As I've already told you, I've already done the first expedition. I'm on the second one, 5 out of 6 already. We've still got 39 days, so I'm well in front again to get it done. But if we go into this about section, this will give you a better understanding of what it means and why we do it. So, when you're ready to depart on an expedition, some things reset and others are kept by your next raider. We're just going to assume, like last time, everything got reset. Your skill tree, your stash, nothing was there. Everything got reset. Okay, so just take it like it's a blank again. You prestige, like back on Call of Duty, when you prestige, you have to do all your guns again, blah, blah, blah. Same sort of thing with this. What they have tweeted out, what they have put on Reddit, and what they've been talking about is they're going to make the expedition more incentivized. So they're going to give you better rewards. They're going to, I don't know what it's going to be. They haven't confirmed anything yet, but they're going to give you better rewards, more, so you want to go for it more to make that people want to prestige. Because a lot of people didn't. I don't know why. I don't know why people come to that choice. I did, and I will do again. I don't know why people decided not to. Maybe if any of you didn't watching this now, let me know in the comments. I'd be curious to know. But what they're proposing at the moment is stash upgrade progress, inventory items, blueprints, coins, player level, skill points, raider den, not sure what that is, workshop, and quests. That's what will be reset. This is what will be kept, supposedly. Unlock maps, codec entries, which is obviously when you mark something. If you mark like the matriarch or the queen or one of the big bosses, it will go in your codex. Raider tokens, credits, merits, raider, dex, progress, active leaderboards, trials, cosmetics. Oh, that's it. This will all be kept. I thought I was reading around part of it. Bonus skills from expedition, blah, blah, blah. So you can read that yourself, guys. Just go on there, press about on there, or tap R on your keyboard, and you can just have a read about it and see what you think. See whether, would you prestige? Would you do the expedition? Everyone's all up in the air about it. People are undecided and, still haven't done it now. They still didn't do it last time. They're not doing it this time. Let me know. Let me know what you guys are thinking about it. I am doing it. I'm going to do it for as long as they do it. So if they do another one after this, I'll do it again. I'm going to keep doing it and see what happens. After we did do it once, I don't know if you've noticed, but for the people that did do it, I've got this little symbol here, whereas the other people that didn't prestige haven't got that. If they're in your lobby, they won't have that little black circle with the star in the middle. They're not going to have that. Also, there was another project alongside this. I don't know when you started playing, but there was something called Flickering Flames. I did that as well. If you didn't do it, then you didn't miss out on much. Okay, all that we actually got from that was a level 3 Bettina, a gold stock, and something else I can't even remember, so it wasn't even that good. Just to let you know. So we spent all of our items putting away in there, trying to find them, blah blah blah. We got a patina. Now we're going to show you a bit of the gameplay. We're going to choose just the map that you normally start on, which is Dam Battlegrounds. We're going to go in as a free loadout, and we're going to show you exactly what that's about. So here we are, literally random spawn, just started, Dam Battlegrounds, and as you can see in the top part of the screen, you can see your timer, which is 19 minutes. The raid starts on every map at 29 minutes, and obviously 59 seconds. It's 30 minutes a map. We've come in on 19-minute timer, which means obviously some of the players may already be dead. They may already have looted and got out, but you can spawn in at different times of the game. Now there's a few options for you if you encounter this. You can either go to the extraction and get straight out because you want to start a fresh raid and try and get in with a full timer. You can play it out and hope that half the lobby's dead so you don't encounter any PvP, or I mean there's the options for you pretty much. There's not really much else you do. You either play it out or you don't. So in the bottom left of the screen we've got obviously your username, and then the top is the shield, and underneath that is your energy. If you press M on your keyboard, you've got the map of Dam, and you can see and choose exactly where you want to go. Once you get into the game, you'll start learning. Obviously, you can, again, with the user-friendly interface that they put on, you can just hover over them, it'll tell you exactly what it is. So, like I was talking about earlier with the Raider hatch keys, you can see where we spawn, which would be the arrow on the map, which is there. If you wanted to get out with the Raider hatch key, you can literally go to that one, that one. The ones with the timers are the extractions for everybody. Everybody can go to these extractions. It gives you the timer on the different ones. This has only got 2 minutes left, 17, 7 and 12. Also, on the right side of the map, if you have a look over there, it tells you and explains to you what everything is. So if you go in and need something, or want to loot a certain thing, or need to go to a certain place, just look at the right side. It'll tell you exactly what it is. One of the things that we spoke about earlier, I'm going to cover now, is when you set up your crosshair. Now, if you can see, it's really small on the map now, but you can see it anywhere that I look, even when it's really tiny, and that's without zooming in. If I do zoom in and move around, you can still see it, even up against the green, you can still see it very, very clearly, the way I've set it up. Now, like I said, you can change it to any colour you want. You might want to go red, you might want to go, a vibrant colour, something that you can clearly see. But this one is my favourite, and I can see it everywhere. It stands out a lot, and I can pinpoint quite easily with this current crosshair up. Now, obviously, on the bottom right side, it gives you the weapon that you've got, which is one I mentioned earlier, the Rattler, the free one. If you go into your stash by pressing Tab on your keyboard, it will show you exactly what you got here. So we've got the free augment kit that we spoke about, the green shield that it gives you, the free weapon, which is a Rattler. You only get 68 bullets, 2 bandages that we spoke about, a door breacher, a snap blast grenade, and 1 shield recharger. So not a whole bunch. There's not a whole bunch that it actually gives you, but at the end of the day, it is a free loadout. It's only worth 5k, which tells you there. This tells you the weight that you're carrying. It's only worth 5 grand, but it's a free loadout. You can't really complain with a free loadout. If you are fresh and you are starting out, my suggestion would to you guys is loot everything. So for instance, when you find containers like this, breach it, because every single thing that you come across when you can breach or loot, if you want crude explosive, for instance, whatever you're trying to find, you will get XP for, which will come up on the left hand side, 200 XP. And you could do that for anything that you loot. There's another one just here, so right next to each other, I've got 400 XP already. So if you're trying to chase levels, or you're trying to level up fast, then make sure you're running and looting everything. So going back to the map again, also if you press Tab, you can go to your map, or if you just press M on your keyboard, you can go to your map. You can see the different type of loot zones that you might want to hit. So for instance, you hover over water treatment, it's medium loot. If you hover over the red one, loot value high. If you hover over this one, loot value high. If you go down to the test annex, loot value medium. It will tell you the different types of loot, but you will, once you start learning the maps and learning the game, you will start looting places that you like to go, something that you're comfortable with, and you'll go back to them places because you found good blueprints or good loot, and that's what you'll start getting comfortable with. Now, as I'm running and walking in the game, you will see what we spoke about earlier, which will pop up in just a second, about the stamina, which is where you put skill points in your mobility. You can see the stamina depleting down the bottom. Depending on obviously where you put your skill points is how long that's going to last, and the different things that you do, whether you're jumping, how much it's going to take, whether you're sliding. Things that you put your stamina into is how long it's going to last, how quick it's going to come. Now that we have just got an arc enemy on us, which is obviously what the game's about, PvE, or PvPvE, but it's about arc enemy as well. We will take these out. If you see one of these, make sure you take them out, just for the XP alone. We're speaking about leveling up. Go for the wings. Go for the wings, take out the arc, and then you will get XP for that as well. So 149 damaged and 100. So just for the purpose of the video, at the end of any raid, you'll come to an extraction point, which you spoke about earlier. This one's got 7 minutes left. You press the extraction button. You wait for the lift to be called, sent up from Speranza, whilst fighting off arc. Not with a free loadout. It's not the easiest with a free loadout. It's definitely not that easy when you run out of ammo. But yeah, you wait for the lift. So once the lift is open, you come in here, you get on the computer, return to Speranza, and you've got this nice raider that's next to us that didn't shoot at all. He's let me finish doing what we're doing, and we'll give him a little thank you.
Thanks, Raider.
And that's going back to Speranza, and that's the raid over. After this, it will give you a breakdown of XP, player interactions. You know, you can check all this out yourself. Raiders nearby, which is the guy that was in the lift with us. Where you've killed drones, where you've killed wasps and whatnot, and then just press continue. Tell you the experience that you get, the bonus XP, and then. I hope this video helped you guys. I hope that if any of you guys are new, this video really did help you with, you know, what you've got to expect, what kind of things you need to do, what you need to keep. Yeah, I hope it all worked out for you guys. If you are more experienced, check out the shorts video that I've done. They are more for more experienced players. They've been very helpful for a lot of different people. Tips and tricks, movements, different things that you might not have noticed and things like that. If you did like it, smash a thumbs up, wait for the next one, and I hope to see you topside soon. Peace.